Wow.
I think my thesis may still be in their library.
At the Van Pelt Library?
Hmm?
At the Van Pelt Library.
Whatever it's called. I guess they have their own
Yeah.
School of Social Work. But we didn't have to write about things that weren't connected with us. It wasn't a statistical thing or anything. We wrote about what we were working on with mental patients, and then self-diagnosed it as to mistakes we made and this and that. And mine was one of the first psychiatric theses, and it went in the library, and it may still be there. And when I finished it, the director, who was a very famous woman, called me in and she said, "Miss Schwab, you didn't write this thesis." I said, "I didn't? What are you talking about?" She said, "The English is too good." I said, "For heaven's sakes, I went to school in England, da 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 da."
It's crazy.
And then I had an experience with the Columbia head person who was also very well known, because for a while I thought, when I came back from one of my European jobs, that I might want to get a doctorate. Don't ask me why. I always had the best jobs anybody had. So I went to Columbia because Pennsylvania could have only placed me in the same state hospital where I did my master's work.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I didn't want to do. And that was in Maryland somewhere. So I went to the Columbia School of Social Work. And the woman talked to me, and then she said, at that time there were only a few excellent schools. And Pennsylvania and Columbia were fighting with each other. Pennsylvania was my kind of thing, where you start where the patient has a problem and try to work it out, while the Columbia School was Freudian and went deep under. I couldn't have done that. So anyway, she said, "So you're a Pennsylvania graduate. That would mean we would have to retool you." That was the end of that.
Right.
I said, "I'm not a book. I'm a person. Thank you very much. Goodbye." Retool.
So you worked in social work for a while, for a long time.
Oh,
but
for a
then,
long time.
how old were you when you married Fritz?
When I married Fritz, 37.
You were 37.
Mm-hmm.
You got married very late
Hmm?
for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you had Susan, how old were you?
38. Oh, yeah, I think 38.
So Scarlett was 12 when Susan was born?
Hmm?
Scarlett was 12 when Susan was born?
She was 11 and Susan was a few months old.
Okay.
So there was 11 years difference.
Uh-huh.
And when Scarlett had her first child, Jacob, I was there. I held her hand. The nurses were very happy that there was a mother who held hands, and men were not in it yet. So Scarlett wrote me a letter and said, "Mommy, I will never have another child unless you're there and hold my hand."
Oh.
And I read that to Susan. We were driving along somewhere in Manhattan. And Susan said, "What? What are you going to do if I have a baby at the same time?"
Oh.
I said, "Down, I'll probably be with you, but who knows?" And Susan said, "That was the problem. I was a happy only child, and then she came in the family." I pulled the car to the curb, stopped, and said, "Would you repeat that?" And she was foolish enough to repeat it. I said, "And how old were you in your happy only childhood?" She was 4 months old. But that's Susan for
Right,
you.
of course.
She's full of it.
Funny.
So, and then of course when Scarlett died, I spent a great deal of time in Dallas. I was there when the boys graduated from high school, from college, from law school. When it was grandparents' day, when it was parents' day, I was there. And then I took them every summer all over the world.
Right.
And Jacob, who doesn't like the telephone, Carl calls me very often. I'm one of his best friends. But Jacob doesn't like the telephone. But on Mother's Day, about 3 years ago, he wrote a letter and he said, just because I don't like the telephone and don't talk to you so often, don't think I have forgotten that you have been my mother and my grandmother all these years.
That's nice.
I still have that letter.
Definitely.
No, I turn the thing off. But you know, I should really, people have asked me time and again,